Hello, second grade scientists. Today we're going to talk even more about seed dispersal and how plants rely on animals to help make new plants. Some of these pictures should look kind of familiar. You talked about this with Mrs. Ibrahim in the science lab, but we're going to review before we learn a little bit more. As you know, seeds move in many ways. At your last science lab visit, Mrs. Ibrahim talked all about the different ways seeds are dispersed or how they move from their plant to a new place to grow new plants. Some seeds are eaten by animals, some stick to their fur, some float on the water, and some fly through the air. Your lab activity focused on finding which kind of flying seed moved the furthest. Was it the glider, like you see here in this little video? Was it the helicopter seeds that twirl as they fall? Or was it the ones that fall kind of straight down? You tried 3 different seed types. Now, if only you could have made an exploding seed pod, that would have been awesome. Well, today we were going to read the story Planting the Wild Garden. This gives even more examples of the ways that seeds are dispersed. As you listen to the story, I want you to look for examples of how seeds move. To complete the activity, you will need an example of flying, sticking, being eaten, and floating. Planting the Wild Garden is on Epic if you want to check it out on your own time. Planting the Wild Garden, written by Catherine O. Galbraith, illustrated by Wendy Anderson Halperin. The farmer and her boy plant their garden. They drop seeds, tiny, fat, round, and oval, into the earth. From these seeds, pumpkins and peas, carrots, and cabbages will grow. In the wild meadow garden, many seeds are planted too, but not by farmers' hands. Ooh, whoosh! The wind scatters seeds. It spills them and spins them and sweeps them up into the sunlight and out across the fields. Purr chicory, waves of black and gold dip into the meadow. Peck, peck, peck. The flock of goldfinches bobbles and sways. Some thistle seeds float to the earth. Others are strewn across the meadow in droppings. Under the afternoon sun, the pods of the Scotch broom grow hot and dry. Snap, snap. Out pop their seeds like popcorn from a pan. They land here and there and snap over there, where they will have more room to grow. Plip, plop. The rain patters on dusty leaves. Raindrops splash and splatter the dry earth, washing seeds to new places in the meadow. The stream carries seeds too. Gulp, gulp. Minnows dine on some. Others lodge along the bank. Next spring, new pussy willow shoots will poke up through the mud. Hidden in the tall weeds, a rabbit nibbles a stalk of yarrow. Now a nibble of grass. Nibble, nibble, hop, hop. Another seed falls to the ground. A hungry shadow watches. She slips past the tangle of cockleburs. She creeps through the Queen Anne's lace. Seeds catch on her thick coat. They hook onto her white-tipped tail and jump, fly off everywhere. In the summer moonlight, 1, 2, 3, 4 masked faces, 4 ringed tails. A family of raccoons feasts on blackberries. Chomp, chomp, chomp. When they amble home again, bits of berries and seeds go with them. Next spring, new prickly canes will pop up everywhere. Thump, bump. An acorn falls, then another. Quick, quick! The squirrel buries both and hunts for more. When winter comes, scratch, scratch, scratch. Down through the snow he digs, 1 fat acorn, then another. Plenty of food to last till spring. Some nuts are lost, but few are wasted. This great oak tree grew from an acorn buried many years ago. Stomp, stomp. People help plant the meadow too. Seeds travel on muddy boots, hitchhike on sweaters, snag on socks, and whoosh, sail on a puff of breath. Seed by seed, we planted this wild meadow garden. Wind and water, birds and animals, plants and people, all of us together. All right. So, second grade scientists, it's now your turn. Using the worksheet on the website, or of course, finishing your work in your journal or notebook, I want you to recall examples from planting the wild garden to show a seed moving by flying, sticking, being eaten, and floating. So choose one example from the story for each of those 4 types of movement. Then get creative and come up with your own example of how a seed could move those different ways. You can get silly with it. You can make it something you already know can happen, whatever you like. Please be sure to write your answers in complete sentences and, of course, have fun. Off you go, second grade scientists.